Hello everybody, it's Midnight Phantom, and this is not going to be another shorts video explaining why I'm not postponing this and all that. This is going to be the actual video. I'm sorry it took forever. I've just been very busy. Anyway, so for the past few shorts and all that, I mentioned I'm going to be giving out clues. Well, for this video, I'm actually going to be revealing what it is. And plus, you'll probably already see the title. Top 15 death battles I would like to see in the future. Now, I've seen other YouTubers do this, so credit to them. I really can't. I don't have the time right now to put them in, but just letting you know, this idea is based off of all of them. So please check them out whenever you get a chance. Anyway, let's get started. Number 15, Spider-Man from Marvel versus Ladybug from Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. I find this fight interesting because they both wear red and black. They both have something that they use as a weapon, aka Spider-Man, his webbing, and Ladybug, her yo-yo. So I thought it would be kind of interesting to do. Anyway, number 14, Deathstroke versus Rodin, aka DC versus Metal Gear. I think this is interesting because they both are assassins, very good assassins, I think, and they are both extremely deadly. I don't really know that much about Metal Gear, so I really can't compare them to anything else, but that's pretty much all I know. Number 13. Doomsday versus Scpe-682, aka DC versus Scpe Foundation. Scpe-682 is basically the very hard to kill reptile, I think. Basically, extremely hard to kill, and I think he will come back. I find this fight interesting because they can both come back from the dead and are extremely hard to take down. Like Doomsday took down Superman, and Scpe-682 took down a lot of monsters and guards. So I think this will be interesting. Anyway, number 12 is Jax versus Luke Cage, aka Mortal Kombat versus Marvel. They are both extremely talented fighters, with Luke Cage having the advantage in defense, but I think Jax having the advantage in strength. This is like one of those debates where you either pick strength or defense as an option. I think it would be interesting to see these two fight. Anyway, number 11 is Yang versus Bakugo, aka Ruby versus My Hero Academia. Now, Death Battle, they've already done a DBX of this, where Bakugo won, but I would like to see Bakugo win an actual death battle against her, because I feel like Yang versus Tifa was a pretty unfair fight, where Tifa should have actually won, but that's my opinion. So, yeah. Number 10, Vegeta versus Wonder Woman, Dragon Ball versus DC. Now, if you've been caught up on Death Battle, you know that Wonder Woman has won 2 fights in a row. And I'm mad at that because I feel like that they put the characters she goes up against are either very strong or very hard to defeat, but she has the speed advantage in both of them. So, I would like to see her go up against Vegeta, who I think is pretty fast, and also who is on the strength feats of Goku and all of them. So I would like to see this fight at some point in the future. Number 9, Iceman versus Natsu, Marvel versus Fairy Tail. For the Yang versus Bakugo, they have done a DBX of this where Iceman won. But I would like to see this in an actual fight, considering Iceman is basically now a god in the Marvel Universe. And I think it would be interesting because it's a classic take on the fire versus ice fight. I would just like to see it happen at some point. Number 8, Megaman.exe versus Cyborg. Megaman versus DC. Now, Megaman.exe is not like a mod or anything, or a creepypasta, but if you've seen the Megaman Death Battle Royale thing, you know Megaman.exe was one of the characters featured in there, where I think he actually won. And I figured since they're both basically robots, I mean, Cyborg is more of a cyborg, and Megaman.exe is a child that was stillborn and turned into a computer program, I think. This is going to be kind of odd, but I think it would be interesting to see. Number 7, Ghost Rider versus Spawn. Marvel versus Image Comics. This fight is very well known and debated a lot. I personally think Ghost Rider would win, especially with Zarathos. And it would be interesting to see because they both have some similarities. I'm not going to go into much detail, but I think they're both pretty cool. But as I said, I think Ghost Rider would win. Number 6, Kratos versus Doomslayer. God of War versus Doom. Now, I think last year, a friend of mine named Karma115, he and I were debating on this fight. I'd say Kratos would win because he's taken on all of the Greek gods and goddesses, and currently the Norse ones. Meanwhile, Doomslayer has killed angels and the icon of sin. I think both are pretty impressive, but I think Kratos would win in the end because he's just a lot more powerful and all that. But if you guys have different opinions, let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, number 5, X-23 versus Damian Wayne. Marvel versus DC. Now, Death Battle, they've done 2 fights like these. Nightwing versus Daredevil, and then Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. Basically, both of the Robins so far have been featured, and Damian Wayne is one of them. I think he's the most recent one. Anyway, this is a take on the Batman versus Wolverine fight, with X-23 being the daughter of Wolverine, and Damian Wayne being the son of Batman. It would be pretty interesting to see, but I don't know if they're going to do this at some point. It would be cool, though. Number 4, Bill Cipher versus Discord. Gravity Falls versus My Little Pony. Yes, I know the My Little Pony fights are absurd, but this fight makes sense. They both can essentially do anything and know everything. So, I think this is perfect. Or they might become friends and destroy the universe together. Who knows? Knowing Death Battle, but we might have to wait and see. And before we go into our top 3, I have some honorable mentions. The first one, Invincible versus Superboy. Invincible versus DC. Pretty interesting fight. That's all, I guess. Second, Ruby versus Ragna. Ruby versus BlazBlue. They did a DBX of this where Ragna should have destroyed Ruby, but since it was like a promotional thing, they made Ruby win. So I think they should have Ragna actually in a death battle against her and win. Yeah. Number 3, Shrek versus Sully. Shrek versus Monsters Incorporated. Yes, they're both very strong and kind of friendly sometimes. I would like to see this fight. Death Battle, please do this. And then the final honorable mention. E. Honda versus Mr. Incredible. Street Fighter versus The Incredibles. A sumo wrestler versus a very buff man. I don't know why. Okay, in third place for fights I would like to see. Percy Jackson versus Sora. Teenagers who have wild and crazy abilities and yet save the Earth and universe multiple times. I don't know. Second place, Taskmaster versus Prometheus. These two are very similar. I would like to see this. Death Battle, please do this. They can both essentially do any fighting style. So I think it would be cool to do. And then finally, Sentry versus Superman. Marvel versus DC. This is a very good fight. A very well-known debate as well. People think Superman would win. People think Sentry would win. I think Sentry because his powers are greater. And he's better, I think. Anyway, that's going to be all for now. Please hit the like, subscribe if you want to, and hit the notification bell. See you all next time.